We're going to install this privacy lever handle. It's got a push button on one side and a little hole on the inside. We don't even have to worry ourselves about this just yet. I've got to put in this latch. Okay, now this latch comes rectangular faceplate, or it comes with a little round faceplate. Now if your door side is round, you can use this. Then you would just gently look at this here, and you would put your screwdriver in. Get the right screwdriver out. Where did it go? Ah. Nah. See, there's a place right there. You would tilt up on there, just twist your screwdriver, flip it around, twist your screwdriver right there. That would loosen that up. You could pull that off. Then you can take this and snap over it. You know what I mean? We don't have to do that because we looked on the side of the door. And see, it's all set up for this one right here. So that's what we're going to use. Now if you had just a round hole there and this one came like this and you thought, oh, I'll just mortise this all out because I don't know how to put this little round deal on here. That's too tricky. I'll just notch it out. Well, they've made it easy for you, so it's two different ways. Before you get all willy-nilly on here, make sure you see the way the door is going to close before you just not paying attention. You screw it in that way or something like that. Door's closing that way, you have to have it flipped around. Now, the old strike plate that was in here was fitting flush. I want to check that first on this, because this backing plate right back here might be just a hair thicker than the other one that came out, and I'm holding it up there as though it's tight with the screws, and sure enough, it feels like this latch is just a hair higher than the wood on both sides. So I'm going to take a little chisel and clean this up and sink that in just a little bit more before I put this latch on. I carry a little, this is a 1/4 inch chisel. Got my hand in the way. I don't know how else to do this. I'm just kind of scoring this up at the top first. Okay. Now I can clean some of this out of there, and I just want to tap on it easy. And also, if I want, I can take a sheetrock knife and score the edge just a little bit, so that that's indentating the wood a little bit. I'm holding onto the door with my foot at the bottom. I'm only going to take off a little bit. You don't want to get carried away. Just little strokes. Last thing you want to do, see this right there? I didn't do that. That was there from the last person. Because he wasn't paying attention. I can clean up the middle just a little more. My chisel's not as sharp as I'd like it to be. And look how long my chisel is, because I've sanded off the bottom and tried to redo the end. This used to be a lot longer. I just got cheap and I haven't gotten a new one yet, but I need to get one now. Each time I do this on a door, it reminds me, and then next time I'm at the store, guess what I always forget? Funny how that works. I need to really take note of that next time I'm at the store. I use quarter inch for quite a few things, and lots of times it's for stuff like this. Just carry that around with me because I never know when I'm going to need it. Okay. Let's try it now. I'm making a mess of things now. Okay. Ooh, nice. Perfect. Grab some of your new screws on there. Screw this back in. Now the holes are all lined up from where the old strike latch was. Strike latch. It's a door latch. The strike plate is in the door jamb, which is next to the door. Got all that? Alright. Looks good. Check that. Make sure everything's going good. Sometimes those, if it's sticking, it could be because it got wedged just wrong or tightened up just wrong. You want to make sure that's going freely, and it is. I've got this handle here, and I want the screws to the inside, and that's where the push button is too. I'm not too concerned about the angle of this, okay, because when they give it to you, they only give it to you one way, but then you can flip the handles if you have to. Like if I put this one up and if the door hand was handed the other way, the handles would be like that. You'd be, how hokey is that? I mean, some people like it like that. If you're a handicapped person, then you just take your wrist, you can go down on there. But most people like it this way. Okay, so you just take it here and it's angled down like that. And that just so happens to be the way that it needs to be installed. Because here's the screws on the inside. This is the inside of the door. And I want the lock portion, which is just has the hole for the privacy, on the outside. You never want on the outside any finished screws where you have to screw the body into the door, you know what I mean? So you always know that comes on the inside. So I'm just going to take the outside portion here. I'm going to fish it in there. Take this, look at that, make sure it's lined up, push it in like that. That's pretty much all there is to it. I got two little mounting screws for that. Just going to hold them up there. And see, that might have to be adjusted one way or another. I'm holding both of them with my hand. I have a hard time starting it, so I'm going to take a screwdriver and see if I got it lined up right. And it is. These screws are long. I guess these are designed for either an 1 3/4 thick door or an 1 3/8. This is an 1 3/8. Okay, so it'll work for either thickness. You just have to look on the packages and see. Now I don't want to make it tight, but I don't want it too loose either, so that I can let go of that and have it be fine. Okay, I can just hold that up there. Let me put my foot on the bottom of the door. Hold that. My screwdriver up there. And it feels like it's going. You don't want to force these. These should go right in. If you feel like you have to start cranking on, okay, it's going, I think it's going, you could be cross-threading it. That's the last thing you want to do, because you'll never get it tight. You get it halfway in there and the screws are going to get all bent, all out of whack. Okay? So now, because the knob was on there from before, I want to try to line up this scutcheon from where the old one was, in case I need to. You know? That way I don't have any marks. If I do have any marks, I want them down here at the bottom more so than the top, right? And I usually on these paddle handles, because they always have a tendency after a while to start wearing and then they want to sag. I have a tendency of wanting to slide that up a little bit. See how there's a little bit of a flex there? I like to do that, but I'm looking underneath here and that puts it way off from the last one. And so I want to look at this over here and see. And if on a new install, I would lift it up a little bit. Not all the way and wedge it up too high, because then that might make a difference on the side. But I'm going to push it up all the way and then drop it down just a little. Okay? Now I can tighten that up. Now I don't want to crank it so much that I'm going to strip the screws off. I want them snug though. I'm going to check the latch, make sure the latch is coming in and out fine. Because if it's not, it might be because I have this up or down too high, or it's putting a wedge on it, and this is not popping out all the way. So then I'd have to unscrew this a little bit, reposition it, and tighten her up again. These screws should be pretty snug. Okay? And they are. This works fine. At this point, I'm going to just check the button, make sure it's locking fine, and it is. It should, it's brand new. Okay, there you go. So far, so good.